You've got this guy, right? He's 90 years old.
Okay, 90.
Yeah. And he has spent 6 long decades building this massive fortune in America. I mean, he's got the big house, the beautiful family, just the ultimate comfort, basically everything you were supposed to want in life.
Right. The absolute pinnacle of success.
Exactly. And what does he do as he nears the end of his life? He drops it all.
Just like that.
Just like that. He completely abandons his wealth, says goodbye to his family, and crosses the globe just to die in the dust of his childhood village back in India.
Wow.
He is desperately searching for, like, the soul of the homeland he remembers. But, and here's the kicker.
Oh, I'm bracing myself.
When he finally steps off that train, his heart is pounding with anticipation. But he doesn't find his home.
What does he find?
He finds barbed wire fences.
Oh.
He finds these imposing police stations. He finds people smoking cigarettes, looking completely hollowed out and exhausted. And he literally falls to the ground, weeping. He's crying out that this isn't his beloved country. It's just Europe or America in disguise.
It is a truly shattering image to open with. I mean, that profound, visceral realization that the home you've been yearning for, it just no longer exists.
Yeah, it's gone.
The geography is exactly the same, but the soul has been entirely paved over.
Exactly. And that powerful, honestly heartbreaking scene is the perfect starting point for today. So welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
Since we know you love to bypass the massive textbooks and get straight to the profound insights, today we have curated a really fascinating exploration for you. We are unpacking the masterful work of Munshi Premchand.
A true legend.
Absolutely. Specifically, we're diving into excerpts from his iconic Hindi short story collection, Manasarovar Part 6.
And our mission today is to really dissect Premchand's brilliant and often completely ruthless exploration of human morality.
Ruthless is definitely the right word.
It really is. We are going to examine the intense, agonizing tension between personal desires, rigid societal honor, and, well, the devastating consequences of intimate deception.
Right. Okay, let's unpack this. If that 90-year-old man was desperately searching for the soul of his culture, what exactly was he looking for?
That's the big question.
Because when we really examine Premchand's universe, we see that this cultural soul is governed by an extreme, sometimes literally fatal physics of honor. We are talking, of course, about Maryada.
Yes, Maryada. And it is crucial to understand that in these narratives, Maryada isn't just some abstract, noble concept of just doing the right thing.
Right. It's not just about being polite.
Not at all. It is the central pillar of existence. It dictates every single micro-interaction, but often at a terrifying human cost.
Terrifying is the perfect word for it. Just look at the mechanics of this in the story, Maryada Kivedi, or the altar of honor.
Oh, that one is so heavy.
It really is. So we have Princess Prabha, and she is abducted by the Rana of Chittor right before she is supposed to marry the Prince of Mandar.
Which is a complete nightmare scenario.
Right. And logically, she is obviously a victim here. She was taken completely against her will. So the Prince of Mandar, he sneaks into the Rana's palace at midnight in this daring romantic rescue.
A classic hero moment.
Exactly. He finds her, he tells her the horses are ready, they can escape, but she refuses to go.
And we really need to look at the why of her refusal, because it completely exposes the core machinery of this society.
Please break it down for us.
She refuses because, in the eyes of society, the mere fact of her abduction means she is now the Rana's property.
Even though she was kidnapped.
Exactly. Leaving with the prince would taint the honor of her Rajput lineage. The societal perception of her purity completely outweighs her actual undeniable innocence.
It's absolutely chilling. I like to think of honor in these stories less like a moral compass and more like a ruthless corporate compliance algorithm.
Oh, I like that analogy.
It doesn't care about context, It doesn't care about innocence or intent. If the abduction variable is triggered in the system, the algorithm automatically demands a fatal payout to balance the ledger.
That is a brilliant way to frame it. The system demands compliance, even if that compliance literally requires your destruction.
Yeah.
And we see that payout immediately in the text. Because she cannot escape this invisible algorithmic cage of honor, the only way she can reclaim any sense of agency is through death.
Which leads to the ending.
Right. The story ends in a double suicide. The prince kills himself right in front of her, and she immediately follows suit. Their blood literally mixes together on the floor of the palace.
A devastating, unforgettable image. But, this suffocating weight of honor wasn't just reserved for abducted princesses.
No, it spared nobody.
Exactly. It infected even the most celebrated, powerful heroes. Take Hardayal, for instance, from the story Raja Hardayal.
A great example.
This guy is a hero in the truest, most physical sense. He fights a grueling 3-hour sword duel with the undefeated Qadir Khan.
3 hours. That's intense.
3 hours of sweat, blood, and sheer willpower just to save the honor of his region, Bundelkhand.
Right, so he literally puts his body on the line to defend the very concept of Maryada.
Exactly. You would think a man who proves his loyalty through such extreme physical sacrifice would be immune to the system's traps.
You really would think so.
But even the ultimate hero isn't safe. And the mechanism of his downfall is so shockingly mundane compared to a 3-hour sword fight.
It really is.
It comes down to a plate. Hardal's food is accidentally served on a gold plate instead of a silver one.
And to a modern reader, that seems like a totally meaningless domestic error. Who cares what metal the plate is made of? Right?
Exactly. Oh, you gave me the gold plate today. Cool.
Yeah.
But why does this specific error trigger such a catastrophic reaction?
It's all about perception.
Because his brother, King Jushar Singh, sees this gold plate and his mind immediately jumps to the absolute worst conclusion. He suspects his own wife of having a romantic affair with Hardal.
Right. And we have to understand the deeply stratified domestic hierarchy at play here.
Yeah, explain that dynamic.
In this royal household, serving a subordinate brother on a gold plate isn't just a kitchen mix-up. It elevates him to the status of a royal lover.
Ah, I see.
It breaches the strict visual and physical boundaries of loyalty and hierarchy. It's a signal, whether intentional or not, that the patriarchal order has been subverted.
And the paranoia that stems from that perceived subversion is absolute. I mean, to prove her purity and reestablish the hierarchy, the king demands that his wife poison Hardal.
It's just so tragic.
This currency of honor completely bankrupts their humanity.
What's fascinating here is that Premchand isn't necessarily praising Maryada, and that's a crucial distinction for us as readers.
Right. He's not saying this is how we should all live.
Not at all. He is dissecting it as a tragic flaw. He portrays it as an artificial societal construct that completely overrides natural human love, logic, and self-preservation. It is literally a machine that runs on human sacrifice.
It's terrifying when you realize who the true antagonist is. The villains in these specific stories aren't like mustache-twirling bad guys. The villain is the concept of honor itself.
Exactly. The system is the villain.
But, if the old world algorithms kill you with honor, you'd assume the modern world would be the cure, right?
You would hope so.
So let's look at the broader societal deception that Premchand highlights, the mirage of modernization. Because when we look at the characters who actually embrace this progress, the reality is just as bleak.
Oh, definitely. And that brings us right back to our 90-year-old man from Ya Mary Matrapumi High.
The guy at the train station.
Right.
Yeah.
He survived the transition to modernity.
Right.
But when he returns, the physical and spiritual landscape of his childhood has been entirely erased.
Completely wiped out. I mean, he specifically looks for the old banyan tree and the village wrestling pit.
Those classic communal spaces.
Yeah, these spaces of a physical vitality and shared history. But what does he find? The wrestling pit has been paved over by a modern school, and the area around the banyan tree is dominated by courts and a police station.
It's such a stark visual contrast.
And pay attention to his observation of the people. He notes that the villagers now look pale and diseased. They are entirely weighed down by the crushing weight of litigation.
It represents a profound shift. The society has moved from physical martial violence like Hardal's sword fight to this slow, draining, bureaucratic violence.
Bureaucratic violence, that's a great way to put it. We see this exact thematic argument expanded in the story Lagdat.
Oh, yes. That one really digs into the economics of it.
It centers on a bitter, multi-generational village rivalry between two men, Joku Bhagat and Beshan Chaudhary. But the narrative really pivots when Chaudhary delivers this incredibly impassioned speech to the entire village.
It's a moment of profound clarity amidst decades of just petty squabbling.
He practically begs them to wake up. He tells them to stop filling the pockets of lawyers and foreign merchants.
He's pleading with them.
He warns them that these modern courts and the adoption of foreign clothes are actively draining the wealth and the soul of the nation. He even points out that the government-backed alcohol shops are just breeding ruin and addiction.
Turning strong villagers into dependents, basically.
Yeah.
Premchand is using Chaudhary to articulate a very specific socioeconomic critique of the time.
And it's important to note here for you listening, we aren't taking a stance or endorsing these specific political or economic critiques.
Of course not.
We are just impartially reporting how Premchand utilized these socioeconomic shifts in his writing to illustrate the profound alienation and systemic exploitation of his characters.
Exactly. Our focus is entirely on the narrative function of these critiques.
But here's where it gets really interesting. I have to push back on the text a little bit here.
Okay, let's hear it.
Isn't the 9-year-old man just suffering from severe rose-tinted nostalgia?
I mean, it's possible.
He's been living in absolute comfort in America for 60 years. And looking at Chaudhary's speech isn't progress inherently good. Literacy, legal recourse, global trade. Why does Premchand paint the new schools, the legal courts, and modern commerce so darkly? It feels almost entirely anti-progress.
It's a very valid pushback. But if we connect this to the bigger picture of Premchand's philosophy, we can see that his critique isn't actually against progress itself.
Okay, then what is it against?
It is a sharp, surgical critique of cultural deception. What he's illustrating is that adopting foreign systems like a heavily bureaucratic adversarial legal system or completely disconnected educational models without actually understanding them or adapting them to the local culture, it doesn't bring true progress.
Because it just creates a new mechanism for the powerful to exploit the vulnerable.
Precisely. It creates a completely hollow society. The villagers in Logdot are alienated from their roots. They find themselves trapped in a bureaucratic machine that they just don't comprehend.
They don't know the rules of the new game.
Exactly. The language of the courts, the endless paperwork it's designed to confuse them, which ultimately just drains their resources right into the pockets of the new bureaucratic elite.
So Premchand is warning that replacing a flawed, honor-bound traditional system with a disconnected, purely transactional modern system is basically just trading one form of subjugation for another.
Exactly that.
You are trading the straitjacket of honor for the straitjacket of bureaucracy. It really is a mirage of progress.
And that mirage leaves the characters spiritually bankrupt. But, Premchand doesn't just stay at this macro societal town square level.
Now he's too good a writer for that.
He is far too interested in human psychology. So he zooms all the way in. He shows us that Doka deception is actually the most agonizing when it happens inside the home.
Behind closed doors.
Yes.
Yeah.
In our most intimate relationships.
The grand societal deceptions drain your wallet, but the intimate ones destroy your soul.
That's beautifully said.
Let's look at the story quite literally titled Doka. We have a scene at Sarikund where Princess Prabha makes a devastating realization about her own marriage.
This one is so rough.
She discovers that her husband, Harish Chandra, tricked her. To win her affection initially, he disguised himself as a yogi.
Which is a huge betrayal.
Right. But on the surface, a modern reader might think, well, it's a bit of a rom-com trope, right? They're married now, they love each other, so all's well that ends well.
But that completely misunderstands the depth of the psychological violation going on here.
Not even a little bit okay for her. Even though they are deeply in love now, she tells him that her soul has been permanently blemished by his trickery.
And think about the mechanics of that specific disguise. Why a yogi?
Right. Why choose that specific persona?
He played on her spiritual reverence and her religious devotion to extract romantic compliance. It is deeply, fundamentally manipulative.
It taints the entire reality of their relationship. The foundation of their intimacy was built on a lie, a manipulation of her core values.
And for her, that makes the entire structure of their marriage rotten. The deception is a poison that just cannot be unswallowed.
Premchand explores another profoundly intimate, though entirely different, tragedy of deception in Amavasya Ki Ratri. And the cosmic timing in this story, it is just brutal. It will make your stomach drop.
It is an absolute masterclass in building existential dread.
We have Devdutt. He is sitting in total darkness with his wife, Girija, who is actively dying. They are completely impoverished.
Just a heartbreaking setup.
The local doctor, Vidyashankardas, absolutely refuses to come to their house to help them. Why? Because the doctor is too busy printing promotional advertisements for his clinic?
Let's just pause on that image for a second. The doctor is literally prioritizing the illusion of his medical practice, the marketing, the perception of success over the actual practice of medicine.
He is choosing a paper advertisement over human life.
It is the ultimate apathy.
And then the cosmic deception occurs. Out of nowhere, in the middle of this pitch black night, a man arrives at Devdutt's door.
Talk about timing.
Right, and he hasn't come to collect a debt. He has come to repay an ancient ancestral debt of 75,000 rupees.
Which is an absolute life-altering fortune.
Devdutt is overjoyed. The adrenaline must have been incredible. He thinks, this is it. The universe has saved us. This wealth will buy the medicine. It will bring the best doctors. It will save you.
The hope is palpable.
He rushes back into the dark room to tell her the incredible news, only to find that she has just taken her last breath. She is gone.
Wow. The 75,000 rupees are completely, utterly meaningless.
It is a devastating irony.
The wealth, the progress, the solutions, they all arrive exactly one moment too late.
It's a cosmic joke. The universe itself seems to be playing a cruel trick, a massive Doka on Devdutt. The sheer futility of capital against the finality of mortality.
And if that breaks your heart, the domestic stories surrounding the Purda system will make you want to pull your hair out in pure frustration.
Oh, this story, yes.
It operates in a completely different frequency. It's darkly comedic on the surface, but fundamentally tragic when you look at the mechanics of the invisible cage.
We all know the strictures of Purda, but Premchand really weaponizes its absurdity here.
He really does.
We have a wife named Savari. She is supposed to cook a grand holy dinner for her husband's guest. It's a major social event, but she fails to make anything. The fires remain unlit.
And the reason why is just, it's maddening.
Why? Because there are simply no matchboxes in the house.
The completely mundane, easily solvable problem in any other context.
Exactly. But because of the strict, unyielding societal rules of her household, she was absolutely forbidden from stepping outside her front door. She couldn't walk 10 feet to simply ask a neighbor for a light.
The grand, rigid architecture of patriarchy is brought to its knees by the absence of a tiny piece of wood and phosphorus.
So the guests go hungry, the husband is humiliated and furious, and the wife is trapped and shamed. All because of a missing matchbox and an invisible, unbreakable rule that dictates her every movement.
This raises such an important question about how we organize our lives and the systems we blindly submit to. Premchand is showing us how rigid systems blind people to basic human compassion and common sense.
So what does this all mean when we pull back and look at the tapestry of these stories?
It's a lot to take in.
You realize that Premchand's real antagonist is apathy, bred by systemic rigidity. It's a husband's selfish romantic trick that completely ignores his wife's autonomy.
Right.
It's a doctor's greed for better advertising that ignores a dying woman. Or it's a ridiculous societal rule that literally leaves you starving in the dark because you are not allowed to walk 10 feet to borrow a match.
The ultimate tragedy in Premchand's world is that people become so obsessed with following the code, whether it's the code of making money for the doctor, the code of keeping Purda for Savari, or maintaining the algorithmic payout of Rajput honor for Prabha, that they literally forget how to be human.
Man,
The system always becomes more important than the soul.
that is a profound takeaway. We've taken quite a journey through the depths of Manasarovar today.
We really have covered a lot of ground.
We've seen how the pursuit of rigid honor forces characters to pay with their own blood. We've examined the mirage of modernity, where replacing old traditions with unexamined bureaucratic new systems just creates new avenues for suffering and extraction. And we've looked closely at the subtle, intimate deceptions that Doka that push ordinary people to the absolute brink within the four walls of their own homes.
And while these specific stories are set in a distinct historical time and place, the underlying psychological struggle is entirely universal.
It really is.
The tension between how society expects us to behave, the rules we are told to follow, and what our own conscience and humanity demand of us, that is a battle every single generation fights.
We absolutely do. We all face our own versions of these societal straitjackets.
So true.
Thank you for joining us as we unpack all of this today. But as you go about your day, I want to leave you with a new thought to mull over, building on everything we've just discussed.
Let's hear it.
We talked a lot about the invisible cages of the past, but think about the invisible cages we are building right now.
No, it's a good point.
Think about how digital algorithms, social media metrics, and the hyper-curation of our online lives are creating a completely new, modern Maryada.
A digital honor system.
Exactly. These are rules we didn't write, codes we barely understand, yet we are completely bound by them. We are constantly adjusting our behavior to ensure we don't trigger a societal penalty online.
It's the same mechanism, just a different platform.
Exactly. Are these new algorithmic rules actually protecting your integrity and connecting you to others? Or are you just trapped in a new kind of code quietly conforming in the dark?